Welcome back. As the school year begins again, we have a crucial topic to discuss: safety on the roads and on the school bus. Joining us now is attorney Rich Barnes from our sponsors at the Barnes Firm with some tips on how you can keep students of the 716 safer. Thanks so much for coming in today, Rich.
Well, thank you again, Chelsea, for having me.
Of course. Well, I wanted to know why you thought it was important to revisit back to school and school bus safety in particular.
Well, yeah, it is that time of year. Once again, Western New York motorists will be sharing the roads with those big yellow school buses. And, of course, those buses carry our most precious cargo, our children, to and from school. And, you know, Chelsea, I think most experienced, responsible drivers have a basic understanding of what the rules are in interacting with school buses. But every year there's new young drivers, some of them high school students for the first time on the road. So I think it is an important topic that we come back to today, just to refresh people how important these safety concerns are.
Alrighty, give us a refresher of what drivers should do when they encounter a school bus on the road.
Sure. Well, the cardinal rule is when a school bus is stopped and the sign arm is extended, the red lights are flashing, you must stop. No exceptions, no excuses. Drivers must stop. You must remain stopped until the sidearm has been retracted to the bus and the flashing red lights are off. So that's the cardinal rule. But one rule that I think people should keep in mind too, and my friends in law enforcement talk about this, is before the bus has engaged the stopping lights, there are flashing yellow lights. And that is telling you that the bus very shortly is going to stop. And unfortunately, sometimes drivers that are used to trying to beat intersections, for example, when the light is going from yellow to red, try to make a calculation, well, maybe I can get past the bus before the red lights go on. A terrible idea and a very dangerous idea. So I tell drivers, when you see those flashing yellow lights, that means slow down, prepare to stop.
We often hear that the most dangerous part of the school bus ride is getting on and off the school bus. Why is that?
That's a great question. Yeah, school buses are basically very safe vehicles. They're built to be safe, and especially in crash situations that don't happen that often. But yeah, kids are kids, and they're excited about school. They're excited about getting home from school. So they're bounding onto those buses, they're bounding off of those buses. And, you know, as a motorist, and you're in that situation where a school bus is either loading or unloading, you got to be mindful of that, that kids are going to be either running on that bus, they're coming across a street because they didn't get to the stop exactly on time. So being very careful to survey the situation and making sure that you don't have kids in what they refer to those danger zones where you can't always really see them, 10 feet on either side of the bus, 10 feet behind the bus. Take your time, make sure the bus is fully unloaded or fully loaded before you decide to proceed.
Well, we talked about making sure that you do come to a stop when the arm is out, the red lights are flashing, but there are actual legal ramifications if drivers fail to stop for a school bus. Do you want to explain what those are?
Sure, and they are pretty serious ramifications for good reason. They're, at the very least, particularly for a first offense, there are very heavy fines that go along with that. If it is a second offense, there can be license suspension or even revocation. And if there are aggravating factors, Chelsea, for example, someone passed a stopped school bus at a high rate of speed, or if there is impairment by alcohol, you could be looking at criminal charges and even potential jail time. So the courts and law enforcement take this very seriously.
And don't think that you can get away with it because no one will see it, because there are actually also cameras on buses now, right? There
are cameras, and those cameras will record it and they will catch you, and you're absolutely right. You will not get away with it.
Yeah.
They will find you, and they will see you in court.
Well, we're talking about what you can do as an individual to make sure that you're being safe and keeping our students safe, but what can we do as a community to ensure school bus safety?
Well, one thing I think is a suggestion for parents, particularly parents of students that are new to school, the younger kids. You know, kids are apprehensive about it, they're excited about it. before the first day of school, go to the school bus stop. Get them acquainted with it. Make it clear to them that it's important to stay out of the street, wait at the bus stop until the bus is stopped. Equally important, I think, is explaining to your kids that on that bus, the bus driver is in charge. The bus driver is the boss. That's a tough job, being a school bus driver. And if you can instill in your children that they have to follow those rules for their own safety and the safety of the other kids, I think that's a big step in the right direction.
And that doesn't just go for our younger students, that goes for high school students too. You know, it's never a bad idea to give your child a refresher about the rules of the road and being vigilant, looking both ways, especially for the high schoolers that are walking to school wearing, you know, their noise cancellation headphones, things like that, right?
Absolutely. And as you said, high school students are a little different than kindergartners. And, you know, reminding them that they're almost adults and they should behave as adults, make that bus ride safe for themselves and everybody else. Listen to the rules and follow the direction of the bus driver.
All righty. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing these great tips as students are heading back to school. Some in Western New York already have.
Yes.
You know, Buffalo Public Schools will be back to school next week. So thank you again for that refresher.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, viewers, if you or someone you know being injured or needs help, just visit our sponsors at thebarnesfirm.com or call 1-800-8-million. It could be the best call you make.